Welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome right here. It's Pressing Issues with Daniel D Humorous, and we are going nowhere. We are right here. In your face, people, in your face. Well, we'll begin with good news. Ladies and gentlemen, he is back. Yes, he is back. The president of Nigeria. Yep, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari is back in the country. Came in early hours of one wonderful, beautiful day. Landed at the Kaduna airport with the Air Force 001, and straight he went to the Aso Villa, and he is back. You know what? I'm just going to let our friends at Cracks TV do the honors right now.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You know you like that. Welcome back. Welcome back. You know you like that. Welcome back. You know you like that. You know you like that. You know you like that. You know you like that.
That's right. A lot of people are happy, but of course, there's a whole lot of people who are also not happy. They are known as what? The haters. And to the haters, Mr. President has got this to you.
We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
That's right. He is going absolutely nowhere. He can't get stopped because he's bad boy for life. Bad boy, baby. With new policy alert, the Nigerian Customs Service, out of nowhere, came up with some kind of crazy policy. I call it crazy policy, saying that everybody who has a car or who owns a car in Nigeria should produce proof of authentic import duty payment. And they have gone further to say, okay, if you don't have yours, we have certain offices where you can come and pay. Now, I don't know how you see it, but I see it as a great revenue drive for the customs service. Because it seems like there seems to be little action in the ports. So now they are coming to join the Nigerian police, to join the VIO, to join the NSCDC on the streets. So even if your car is 20 years old, Baba, you are going to pay import duty. Will it be the present rate or will it be the rate of 20 years ago of that car? I don't know. Time will tell. But again, the Nigerian Senate in an unusual manner swung into action to say, no, this is not going to happen. And of course, led by none other than the very vocal Dino the Dinosaur, Melaye.
Invite the Comptroller General of Customs to appear in plenary with his uniform.
That's right. And you know, he who wears a shoe knows where it pinches him the most. I mean, this is a man who has presented a 1992 car to his PA as a gift. That man doesn't know where the custom duty papers are for that car. So he might be the first victim on the chopping board. So he has to save himself and use his instrument of the Senate to save himself. By the way, Hameed Ali, CGC, we hear that before your appointment, you used to have a 505 only in 2016. Hello? Where are the custom papers of that 505 in 2016? Or whenever it is that you got the car. And again, the Senate, going back to their usual manner of railing off pressing issues to issues that do not matter, are now saying, CGC, for you to appear to us, you have to wear your uniform.
Next week, Wednesday, by 10 o'clock, to come back in uniform and address the Senate.
Aye. Those against saying the eyes have it.
Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying. Get Nibu. Get out of here for real. I'm saying get out of here for real.
Look, this man has been in office since August 2015, for Christ's sake. Nearly 2 years, and you're just remembering that he's been wearing a bada. Where have you all been? Or like you people knew and like, okay, we know he's going to bring out the dumb policy, so let's hold this against him. Let's hold this against him. And guess what? The very stubborn retired Colonel Hameed Ali had a major epic clapback for the Senate.
I was not appointed Comptroller General to wear uniform.
That's right. He wasn't employed to wear uniforms. So now they are saying, come and appear with us with the uniform. And he is using what I call old man sense. First, he wrote to them that there's a management meeting. Now he's writing to them that he's bereaved. He will keep writing, and he will wear that agbada until the end of this tenure. I mean, You all saw him when he was appointed. You didn't say anything about him not being a customs officer. He's been there nearly 2 years. All of a sudden, you have a problem with what he's wearing. Like they say, what's in the name? Hello, senators, what's in the uniform? It's just like telling Dakuku Peter Side to begin to dress like seafarers. It's not going to work. Let the man do his job. If he's not doing his job well, or he's bringing out this dumb policy like it is now, then you call him to order with that. We're still on the Senate, where they have, for the second time in a very short time, rejected the nomination of Ibrahim Magu. They keep rejecting him like a bad pimple that won't just go away, or like a recurring gonorrhea. For God's sake, what is the problem? Now, check this out. They said there seems to be some kind of security report questioning his integrity, saying he's living an ostentatious lifestyle. Let's just say for a man of EFCC status living the vida loca, he is not supposed to be living such kind of fancy life, the kind of life you have guys like Dino Melaye and co living. Right. So just on the last day of him facing the Senate, there were issues of reports. Now, he also claimed that there were 2 different reports, one saying he was good, one saying he was bad.
There were 2 of such reports submitted to this office by the same law enforcement agency. 2 different reports, the same day, about the same people.
So now, the Senate decided to employ the services of Ronkinoli to decide which report they are going to believe. And of course, who else to pick the report than the man who is always at the center of every fight? Dino the Dinosaur, ladies and gentlemen. Making sure that all names are properly spelled out so that nobody gets it twisted. Now they have rejected his nomination.
Magu has failed the integrity test and will eventually constitute a liability to the anti-corruption drive of the present administration.
So it turns out, I'm going to predict right now, the president will re-nominate Magu again, and he will be re-rejected, and then there will be a re-nomination, and then a re-rejection, and then we're just going to be re up and down until the end of this government. Because Magu has said it. He is going nowhere. That's right. One of the big stories trending in the last couple of weeks, which I didn't want to go into earlier on, but it's been trending so much right here at Pressing Issues, we had no other choice than to touch on it because it's an issue that is pressing. Don't forget, if it's an issue that is not pressing, we won't bring it out. Whenever an issue is pressing, we bring it out. And different ways of pressing. And this is another story that involves a very critical aspect of pressing, ladies and gentlemen. The great apostle Johnson Suleiman is in the news, accused all over the place by one certain Stephanie Otobo, saying there's been promise of marriage, breaking of marriage, and all kinds of stuff. And of course, in matters like these, we let the truth pan itself out. But check this out. One of the epic clapbacks that the apostle had to say was this.
Look for a presentable not this. Come on. Abba. I've traveled around the world. I've seen all kinds. Is it that?
And once the haters or the witch hunters heard apostles say this, they were like, oh, snap. Why? We forgot. We would have brought a more presentable one. Which means the witch hunter's taste for women is highly questionable, by the way. So what did the witch hunters do? Enter Daniela Okeke. Ladies and gentlemen, this story doesn't have to be true or false, but look at that piece of work for a minute. Just take a look at that piece of work. How's that for presentable? That's right. So we are waiting for what the next story will be. Now, still on this story, one thing again I observed is the decline of, will I say, brilliant journalism. Okay, Stephanie Otobo came out of prison and then organized a press conference. And then a very important question from a very intelligent journalist was asked.
What is the size of this mountain?
That's right. In all of the matter where someone was accusing someone of promise of marriage, someone accusing somebody of adultery and all of that, and the only thing that is important to you is the size of his hoo-ha. Okay, well, maybe because his name was Johnson, right? So you expected a man with Johnson was supposed to be a Johnson. And then she gave you a baffling answer.
Oh, an average size.
So I guess the lady wanted to write initially the great apostle with the heavy Johnson. And now she doesn't know how to write the great apostle with the average Johnson, or call him the average Joe. So really, it's mad. Or are we gonna have it in court that she's gonna say, this is the size? And then Festus Keyamo will say, objection, my lord. Can the accused please tender it for proper observation? And then they have a jury who will now examine and now say this. And then she said another dumb stuff that I didn't even understand. Listen to this.
The police should check him and check the pictures. I believe every man has different kinds, and I have pictures with his hand holding it.
That's right. Every man has a unique whatever, a unique Johnson. And she says she has pictures of his Johnson, right? So that means Festus Keyamo will tender the picture of the Johnson and say, my lord, here is the Johnson of Johnson. And then for further clarity, the judge will now say, you know what, accused, can you tender your Johnson? Let us see if the Johnson you have is in tandem with this Johnson here. And then based on the correlation of Johnson, we'll know if he's guilty or not. What is this world turning into, for Christ's sake? That's our show, guys. Hope you had a ball, as you always do, hooking up with us on this show. And do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. And, of course, subscribing to our YouTube channel and get others involved, because it's a party up in here. And like we always say, if it's not pressing, it's not an issue. And ensure that is an issue before you press it. And there are different ways to press it. For example, the president's return was pressed like this. Senate and Magu and Customs was pressed like this. And the Apostle Johnson Suleiman was pressed like this. So either way, we are pressing something, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you on the next show. Do have a good one.